Sure. My View host Laura Trump joining us now to react. And Laura, good morning. Thanks for being here. It's just last month we listened to Gavin Newsom go on a more liberal podcast with Ezra Klein bragging about being the most trans governor in the country. So he seems to be speaking out of both sides of his mouth.
Yeah, Griff, if anyone out there was wondering whether or not Gavin Newsom would say or do anything and become whoever he needs to become to run for president in 2028, there is your answer. This guy flip-flops around more than an Olympic gymnast. Don't forget, this is not new for Gavin Newsom, though. Don't forget back in COVID, whenever he told everybody they had to lock down and mask up, this guy was gallivanting around the French Laundry, having a gourmet meal with his friends. He forced a minimum wage raise there in California, but then went out of his way to exempt his friends and donors so they didn't have to pay any more money. He told everybody that he was great with all men competing against all women in the sports arena. And then, of course, we remember whenever he went on Charlie Kirk's podcast last year and said, actually, no, I don't agree with that. Here's another great example of this guy just kind of changing his tune. And I think the problem that the American people have is all of this stuff is crazy. Whether we're talking about, men possibly having babies and becoming pregnant, even my 6-year-old daughter knows that is ridiculous and doesn't work. It is pure biology and it is pure science. But the Democrats, whether they're siding with criminals over law-abiding Americans or telling us that they believe that men can become women, they're losing the common sense thread of things. And I think whenever Gavin Newsom decides to run for president, or people are looking in 2026 now at these midterm elections, Democrats are going to have a hard time convincing the American people that they should support this kind of lunacy, because, Griff, that's exactly what it is. It's
fascinating watching Democrats struggle with basic biology. I thought the moment in a hearing in Washington when Senator Josh Hawley had Dr. Anisha Verma, an OBGYN, on and hit this question to her. Watch.
Based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with...
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
What you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question, it sounds like.
It was incredible, Laura. She's an OBGYN. She delivers babies, and she couldn't answer the question.
Yeah, and we have a Supreme Court justice who could not tell you what a woman is and define what a woman is. It's kind of crazy right now. If you went back 30 years and told us we were going to find ourselves in this space, Griff, I think people would have said you're nuts. But this is why people have gravitated towards someone like President Trump, who is direct with what he says, who doesn't pull any punches, and who can clearly define what a woman is and does not make two bones about it. We want to get back to common sense. People want it back in their life. This type of stuff just makes your head hurt.
They also want in their life the amazing guests you have coming up on My View, to include Stephen Miller and Madison Sheehan.
That's right. And we're talking to Tim Scott about the midterms. And look, it's the beginning of a new year. People have a lot of resolutions. 88% of people by this time have completely discarded their resolutions. Tony Robbins is going to give everybody tips tonight in terms of how to stick with those New Year's resolutions and how to make 2026 your best year yet. So I'm excited to see everybody. I'll see you at 9 o'clock tonight right here on Fox
9
News.
p.m. Eastern, a great lineup for My View. Laura, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.